I was born in Lima, and I lived, while I was in Peru, only in Lima. And I remember we first lived with my grandparents. They had my mom's grandparents, and they had a sort of like a pharmacy, a local pharmacy. And when I was really little, like a baby, I would spend my time just sort of hanging around the pharmacy. And even though my grandparents were working, I'd still be there. And my parents worked, they had a long commute, so they they worked very long hours, so I didn't see them that much, but I hung out a lot with my grandparents. And I also had some extended family members that lived around the area. Like my aunt, who was also my godmother, she would take me to marketplaces and sometimes buy me toys, and we'd take the local transport that was called the combi. So it's kind of like a little van that everyone would crowd into, and you'd go in. And I went to school. It was a school, I remember there were nuns in there, so I thought it was run by nuns. And I was there for kindergarten, but I left early because my mom got a student visa to go to Pennsylvania. I remember I had to say goodbye to the people at my school, and they'd say, "Oh, good luck in the U.S., so I knew I was going to the U.S. And so I had to say goodbye to my grandparents too. They accompanied us to the airport. I guess the reasons we went there are mostly economic. My mom felt like she could have a better life in the U.S. When we first got there, I remember I think one of the major issues was getting housing. We rented a van, and I remember we just like went around, we stayed in a hotel. Eventually we found housing kind of like a student apartment. It was very much a change of scenery because Lima's a big city, and we were basically living in a small college town. I don't think I've formally learned any English when I was in Peru because I was still young. I didn't take ESL when I was introduced into the Pennsylvania public school system, but I remember I picked it up really quick, just watching TV, like Scooby-Doo. And yeah, I mean, I was very shy and quiet, but English wasn't really an issue for me. So, and then I came to McAllister. I studied international studies. That was my major, and then my minors were anthropology and computer science. I studied abroad in the Netherlands, and my godmother, she currently lives there with my cousins and my uncle, and also my grandparents because they moved there to go be with the new babies. Every couple of weeks I would go and visit them, and yeah, I'd go. I was in Amsterdam. They were sort of near Rotterdam, but I'd just take the train and they'd bring me right there. There's also like farmers markets over there, so it's kind of like, it kind of felt like I was doing similar things like I used to do with them when I was living with them in Peru. And I just graduated in May. I was planning to move back to Pennsylvania. I did AmeriCorps during the summer, so once that was over, I was planning to go back. But I got a job offer, so then I decided to stay here. Pretty much it. I'm still settling into my new life right now, just transitioning from being a student to not being a student and having a job.